Hello friends, this is lesson 18 of Big Data Hadoop with Python. In today's lecture, we are going to cover the following topics. First, we'll be discussing what is HiveQuery and then how to create and load tables using HiveQuery, then HiveQuery basic commands, and then we'll see aggregation functions with HiveQuery queries. Now let's start with the first topic and see what is HiveQuery. HiveQuery actually stands for Hive Query Language, is SQL-like language which is used for writing queries, right? So those who are familiar with structured query language, it means SQL, they are able to perform data analysis very easily. So from this definition, you can easily understand that the HiveQuery is actually a structured query language. It means it is similar to this one, and it is used for writing the queries. Those who are good using this language, so for them it is easy for data analysis using HiveQuery as well. Now let's see here, the next point is Hive provides SQL type querying language for ETL, extract, transform, load purpose on top of Hadoop file system, right? If you remember, in Hive we said Hive has two major parts. The first part is called HiveQuery and the second part is called Hive Engine. HiveQuery is actually used for writing the queries, and Hive Engine is used for to transform the data or execute and load. These operations will be done by Hive Engine. Writing the queries, that we are using HiveQuery. So HiveQuery is a combination of these three languages. We have SQL 92, Oracle SQL language, and we have MySQL. So those who are good with these languages, so for them it is easy and they can use this language for processing and analyzing the data on Hadoop cluster. Now let's start the second topic here, how to create and load the tables. So for creating and loading the tables, first we have to connect to Hive shell. And how can we do that? Let me open the terminal and see all these things practically here. Now first I have to connect to my HD user, so switch HD user. Okay, then here I will type the password, then CD. I will clear the screen. In here, friends, first I have to go to like home directory of HD user. In these are the programs what we have already written. Some of them are written in Pig and some of them are written in Python. Different scripts are there, and we have some data sets here, like we have this data set and we have this data set we have, and have this file is there, right? Now let's see the contents of this file. So the contents of that file, if you want to see, I'm using this one, cat and then emp, name of this file. So it is showing me these are the contents. We have name, and then we have job, and this is the salary, and the fields are separated by tab, right? This is called tab, the space between them. And now I want to create this table using Hive, and also I want to load the data of this file to that table. So for doing that, first I have to open Hive shell, and if you remember, it is in this directory user, then we have local, then we have Hive, and here one thing else we have to write here, friends, I don't have to forget that. Let me clear the screen. Since Hive is storing the data on Hadoop cluster, we have to run Hadoop services as well. It is important because if you remember, we did create a directory on Hadoop cluster called warehouse. So there the Hive will be storing the data. So if the Hive is storing the data on Hadoop cluster, so it is necessary to run the services. It means Hadoop services. So let me start the services. I say start, right? Here we have to first start the services, and then we can write the queries and load the tables. Now to check whether the services are running or not, type GPS. It is showing us all the services are running. We have secondary name node, node manager, resource manager, data node, and name node are running. Clear the screen, and now you go to like user, no, sorry, user, and then we have local, then we have Hive, and here we have a directory called bin. And this bin directory, here you type Hive, and then it will connect us to Hive shell or command line interface. Yeah, now we are here, it is showing us we are in Hive shell, or we are using Hive shell here. So let me clear the screen first. Semicolon is so much necessary, friends. Whenever you put the semicolon, it means this is the end of the statement. If you have not put the semicolon, still it will be searching for the semicolon until it reaches the semicolon, then it will terminate it. So what we have to do, I have to first see whether is there any table written before or not, or created before. For that you just type show tables, then put semicolon. So we have not created yet any table, it is empty, the database is empty, it has no table. Now we are going to create the first table, and for creating the first table I will write this statement here. Take the copy and paste it here, right? So here we have create, this is a DDL command. Those who are good in SQL, they know that this is DDL command, create table we are using, and this is user defined name which I have selected as a test. You can give any name, so these are predefined and this one is user defined. And then the table has three fields, name, then have job, and then we have salary. The type for name is string, and the type for job is also string, and the type for salary is integer, right? Now here I will press enter. I don't put semicolon because it is not yet completed, so I use here row format, delimited. I will explain it what is this. Then again I have to type here fields terminated by, and here I have to put /t, and then again I have to write lines terminated by, here again I have to put slash and then n, right? Then semicolon. Now what is this? The first, this one, row format delimited, it means each line contains a single record. The file which we are going to load to this table means that file has, each line has a single record or row. And then here we see fields terminated by /t. I showed you that there we had job, name, job and salary. In between these fields had they were separated by tab. That is why I put here /t, means the fields are separated by tab. And if some files we have like they are comma separated file, so there we have to put comma because the files, the fields are separated by comma or maybe semicolon or some other things, you have to put that. And then the lines terminated by /n. If we go from first line to the single line, it means there is a next line. We are getting the next line. This /n means next line, one after another. So let me press enter, and now the table is created. Let me see. So how can we see whether the table is created or no? You type here show tables, and it is showing us now we have a single table called test. And if you want to see the fields, you just type here describe and then test. It is showing us all these things. These are the fields: name, data type is string, job, data type is string, and we have salary, data type is integer. Now I want to put some data within this table. For doing that, I have to use here insert into name of table is test, have to use values, and then I have to put here some values, like let it be the first name Max, the job for him is engineer, and the salary for this person is maybe like this much, and then semicolon. So the query will run on Hadoop cluster. That's why it is taking time. It will call the mapper and also the reducer for storing the data on Hadoop cluster. See here, it is showing us the mapper is 0, reducer is also 0. Now let's see, the mapper first will be completed, then the reducer will be completed. Now the mapper is 100%, reducer is also 100%, then and then here the record is stored in the table. Now we want to see the record whether it is stored or not. Select static from, the table name is test. Here I am using, it is showing, yeah, the table has first record called max, job is this one, and this one is the salary, right? So this is the way how to let me create another record also, insert, sorry, so I put Laura, and for maybe she's trainer, and the salary for that is 0. So this is the way how to insert values into the table. Yeah, I will use select static from. Now it is showing us we have 2 records within this table called test. Again, here I will create another table called this one, EMP, means employee, and within this I will be reading the data from salaries. The data, if you know about the salary table, there we have 5 columns. So the first column or field is called rank, then we have discipline, and then we have PhD, then we have services, service, and then we have salary, right? But here I'm going to show you this point, friends. Here we put /t, means because the fields are separated by tab, but here the fields are separated by comma. This you have to remember, right? So let me take the copy of this. Okay, space is not required. I will come and clear the screen first, and here I will paste it, right? So now I will press enter. Here again I have to say row format, and here we have to show delimited, and then enter. Then you have to see fields terminated by. Here we are not putting /t because the fields are separated by comma, not /t. So instead of this I put comma, and then again enter. Then I say lines terminated by, yeah, the lines are there /n, and now put semicolon, right? So we created another table called EMP, right? So here the data types for rank is string, again string, we have integer, 6 integer. I have used another data type here, float. So I told you, whenever you want to study further or reading further, you have to refer the books, and there are different data types, like we have boolean, characters, different data types are there, date, time, all those things, and also different commands, hive commands are there. For further reading you have to refer the books. Now I'm going to describe the table, describe employee table. So it is showing me all the fields with its data types, right? Now the next step is, friends, here I showed you how to insert the table values into tables. This is the way how to insert, but now I am going to do something else called load the data. For loading the data, we will be using command called load data from local system, and here you have to provide the full path where the data is stored, and we will be using overwrite into table, and you give the name of table as I have mentioned here, test, right? Let me take the copy of this, Control C, and paste it here. And one thing you have to remember, friends, this overwrite is optional. If you're using this overwrite, means it will remove all the previous data what we have there in the table, and then it will overwrite the new data. But if I'm not using this like this, I will remove it first, right? I remove it, and now if I press, see here I have provided the path home directory hd user. I showed you this emp table is there in this directory, so you have to put the correct directory here. Then table name is test, it will load the data into the test. Now I'm not using insert, instead I'm using load data. Let me press this. Now the data is loaded. How many records will be there? Let me see the records, how many records we have. These are the values, friends. It has not overwritten these things because I removed the override from here. If I'm not removing that, so these two records would be deleted from the table, and only we would have these things. Let me use it again once more, but this time I will use here override. Override. Now how many values are there in that file? 1 2 3 4 5 are there, so that 5 values will be overwritten on these things, so we will be having only 5 columns, 5 rows, sorry. Yeah, now let me see. Yes, see, everything is overwritten. We have only this thing. So I hope you understood this override here. So this is the way how to load the data. Now I'm going to load another table. I'm using here, because I have created the table. This is the table, employee table. This is employee table. I'm going to load the data to this table. For doing that, yeah, here I have to use the name of table is salaries dot csv comma separated value, and if you remember there also we said fields terminated by comma, not by /t. Now let me press this. Now it is loading. This time I'm going to select static from employee, and you press this. How many values are there? Okay, table name is, oh, it is test. We have loaded to test. Sorry friends, we have to remove that. Instead we have to say employee, right? Yeah, now see, these are the data what we have with that table. Let me correct that table also, because have to put test here, and then I'm going to override that by data what we have within this emp file. Yeah, that is also now correct. If I say select static from test, this is test table and this is employee table, right? We have these things. Now let's see here, we have some basic commands. The first thing is called projection. Projection means selecting the columns. If you are not putting the comma within the query, so that is called projection. And we have different types. This is also a type of projection. When we say select, like select static, it means we are selecting all the columns from employee table. This is called projection. It is taking all the columns. But sometimes we don't want to take all the columns. We are going to specify here, like we need only rank, and then we need the 6, and then we are going to take the salary also from employee table. You see, this time we have only 3 fields. We have rank, then 6, and then the salary. This is called projection. Again, the same way you can select from the second table also, like this time I say name you take and salary you take from test table. We have only these two, names and salaries, right? So this is called projection. And the second thing is here selection. If we say selection, it means we are using where clause. It means we are having some conditions, and based on conditions we are filtering the data. Like select from table name, where you have to say column name is equal to some operators, greater than, equal to, like that, and then the value. So that is called selection. Let me clear the screen, friends, and then here I will do selection. So I say select static from employee where, I say rank is equal to, so see here, rank is equal to professor. So this is called selection. Only professor records we have. Or for example, we want like 6 is equal to male, right? So we have all the records related to males, not females. Like for example, you can use greater than, less than salary, like here you can say greater than some values, like let me put here, I don't know, these records or the salaries are greater than that number. So different values you can put here and different conditions you can put. This type is called selection, right? The same way we can use the other table also, like let me select static from test where job is equal to here I say I want only the data of trainers. So we have only one record there, and that is Gaurang, right? So this is the way how to do selection. Now let's come to the next point here, aggregation functions. So these are called aggregation. Some of I have listed here like sum, average, max, minimum. We have here like count, right? These are called aggregation functions. Like we have standard deviation, we have mean. These are called aggregation functions. How can we do, or how can we use them here in these queries? So let me clear. And now I want to use sum function. So select, right, and then I say you use sum of salary from test table, right? So it will be calling the mappers and reducers on Hadoop cluster. So based on that, the operations will be performed there, and the result is displayed on the shell. Yeah, we have, this is the salary. And let me use the count, how many employees are there. So for that I will be using count function, and here instead of this I will type only star. It means you select all. Yeah, here we have 5 employees. You can use maximum, minimum, like that. Let me write another query and like this, select, I say you take rank, and then sum the salary of employees, and then I'm using here something called group by from employee table, group by rank. First it will aggregate all the records by rank, and then it will find the sum of values, sum of salary. How many ranks are there? 3 ranks are there. We have professor, associate professor, and then assistant professor. So they will be aggregated by these 3 values, and then all the sum, it will find the sum of all their salaries. Yeah, see here. If you want to aggregate it by 6, so you put 6 here, then you sum the salary, and here also you have to use, okay, 6. So it is calling the mapper in reducer. Yeah, we have females and then we have males, and these are the sum of their salaries, right? From another table, the same you can apply from another table, like we have their job, right? And then I want to sum the salary from test table, then I say group by job. So let me see how many jobs are there and their salaries, distinct jobs. Yeah, we have engineers. It was not only one engineer, two engineers we have. It is taken only one, and sum the salary. Scientist, then sum of salary, then trainer, sum of salary. So this is the way how to you can do any, you can write any type of queries. How much you are good in structured query language, you can write complex different queries here, and it will execute the queries. Now I will talk about this one, order by. So what is this order by? It is used for sorting the records. Now for example, select static from test. If I apply here, so these are the records. Now I'm going to sort them by name or maybe by salary. So for that, at the end you have to put order by, and here you have to say name. So by default it is sorting the values in ascending order, you see. Yeah, we have Apu, then Fazul, then Gaurang, and at the end we have Rafi. But instead of here, if you're, it is by default ascending. If you're putting or not putting this one, it is in ascending order, it is sorting. But if I put here descending, this time it will order or sort the values in descending order. Yes friends, you see here first Rafi, and then at the end we have Apu. So this is the way how to use order by, and I showed you how to use group and these aggregation functions, how to use, like if you want to find the maximum of salary, minimum of salary, average you want. So the way I showed you how to use them, right? So I will clear the screen, and then we'll talk about this alter. So alter is also a DDL command. Here it will be used for renaming the table name. For example, instead of test table, I want to change it to EMP table, right? How can we do that? Just I will take the copy of this. We have a table called let me change it to EMP. What is the name of table we want to change it to? The name of table is test. Now I want to change it to EMP table, right? Yeah, let me use here show tables, and now test table is not there. We have only this table EMP, and we have this table, right? And these are temporary tables which will be stored on temp table directory. So these are the actual two tables, right? So I wanted to show you this one, alter table, then table name, rename to new name, which we are going to rename it. And the last command which I am going to talk about is drop. Drop is also a DDL command, friends. It is used for removing a table. If you want to remove a table, so for that we'll be using drop. So how can we do that? So I will use like drop table. Which table I'm going to drop? I will say okay, EMP table. Test table is not there. If you put test, it is showing it is not there. It is not removing the test table. So here show tables. Yeah, still we have the two tables. It is not removed. But if I use like drop table EMP, this time it will drop our table EMP. Now if I use show tables, EMP table is not there. We have only one table called employee table. And one thing else at the end I'm going to mention here, friends, not to forget, is delete and update. These two commands are DDL commands. DML commands. We have delete, select, update. These are called DML commands. DML commands, right? Like we have select, we have update, delete, right? These are called DML commands. So we have delete, update, select, and these commands are called DML commands. And then we have DDL commands like create, right, drop, and then we have alter, truncate. These are called DDL commands. I showed you how to use select command, but this one you cannot use, friends. Delete also you cannot use here. Hive is not supporting these two commands because you know that the data will be written on Hadoop cluster. In Hadoop environment is written once and can read multiple times. It is write once and read multiple times. So once the data is written there, you cannot update that and you cannot delete the data. Only you can use like select for filtering. You can use these two commands are not supported by Hive. You can use select and you can use these commands. So I hope you understood all these things, friends. We talked about basic commands and showed you how to create a table and how to insert the values and how to load the tables. I showed you all. So then we use aggregation functions and also basic commands from Hive, aggregation functions, order by and group by, these two keywords we use. So let me, how to exit now from this shell, you have to use exit command here. Exit. Right now we are in this environment. I will come to the root of this and here I will say stop / all.sh. I'm going to stop the services, so all the services will be stopped. GPS, so services stopped. I say exit, again exit. So these were the topics, friends. I hope you understood this much. Thanks.